I kind of feel like this is what the normal beers on the shelf that aren't craft beers should taste like.
That's a nice dream. Yeah. Welcome to Akihabeera, where we waited until we were finished making out with the Japanese beer industry before we pointed out the spinach wedged in its teeth. I'm Eric.
I'm Casey. Today we are taking a trip to Otaru Beer for the Otaru Beer Dunkel.
Dunkel's, you can kind of tell by the name, it's like a German style of beer. Yeah. Any guesses as to what it means? I like playing this game. I put Casey on the spot.
People used to dunkel their balls into it.
They used to teabag it all the time. No, it's a German word for dark.
Oh, okay.
So, according to several different sources that I looked at today, it's another Bavarian style of beer, but it just means whatever dark beer like the pub has on tap, generally speaking.
Oh, wow. So it's not necessarily a particular style, or at least it didn't start out that way.
It seemed like it, yeah.
Huh.
The colors range from like kind of an amber color to just like a black, like a real dark one. So it kind of just depends, again, whatever the dark beer that place has on tap. As far as dark beers go, Wikipedia tells us that
there's lots
until the Pilsner was invented, which is I think 1842. Dark beers were really common just because when they were roasting the malt, they were basically roasting it with just like fire. So it was hard to kind of control the fire. So you'd end up with a lot of like amber beers and.
It almost seems like that. Yeah, darker beers are just way more prevalent in the older days to begin with.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the history of dark beers is much longer than the history of sort of lighter pilsners. So
it tastes better too.
Well, generally, yeah. So Otaru is a city in Hokkaido. I actually had the privilege of going to this brewery about 3 years ago. They've been around since 95, and there was a gentleman up there who was headhunting German braumeisters.
Oh, wow.
Once the beer law changed in 94. He found not just a braumeister, but a brow engineer, which was apparently another, like, that's like, both of those are German, government recognition type stuff, government titles.
Oh, really?
Like you have to pass a test to get that.
Ones.
And brow engineer is like a notch higher than braumeister. So this guy is like some pretty top class stuff.
Jeez.
So they brought this guy to Japan in around 95. And so he makes beer that follows the German beer law. That's why all the styles are German. Yeah, they do have a Weizen, the Dunkel, and the Pils, and then I think about a half dozen seasonals. I read a really good interview, which I'll link in the doobly-doo, with this brow engineer fella, Johannes, I think his name was. Johannes Braun.
Oh.
It's from a while ago. It's from 2011 in Japan Times, an English interview. He was mentioning that he does things the way the German breweries do things, which is you can only drink this beer close to his brewery or at the brewery.
Oh.
I'll explain where I got this in a minute, and he was saying that oftentimes like Asahi would send like people to his brewery and be like, yeah, we really want to do what you guys do, but like we can't get the distribution right because like they have to filter out all the yeast so the beer has a longer shelf life, whereas they don't do that with this.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I mean, you just don't do that. They're trying to do something that is not really feasible. This beer was purchased outside Tokyo Station in a Hokkaido antenna shop / Hokkaido supermarket.
That makes sense.
Addressing the sort of like distribution issues for beer like this. This was purchased about 2 weeks ago, and it's got an expiration date of February 1st, which is 3 days from now.
Yeah, that is pretty.
So it does have a short shelf life. Okay, so let's try this. Otaru Beer Dunkel.
The pour was really nice. The head was really solid. It's balanced out a bit.
Really nice amber color. Like we were saying, like Dunkels can kind of run the gamut from amber to black.
Yeah. You said the yeast was left in it, but I don't see any sediment at the bottom, really.
Right.
It's clear. It's not too clear.
It's a little cloudy. Right?
Yeah. Completely going against its color. It tastes really light. Its mouthfeel, I guess you'd say, is really light. It's very refreshing,
very
almost like a summer beer.
Yeah, I like the caramel, sort of the caramel malt taste.
Yeah.
Which, that matches the color.
It's, nothing really impacts the taste buds too hard. Like, it's a pretty mellow flavor throughout.
What would you say about this?
Yeah,
That's the thing about a lot of German beers, for me anyway. It's like, they're harder to put your finger on different flavors, because a lot of them are lagered, right? So they're not going to have any, like you're saying, distinctive flavors. They're not going to have anything that really jumps out other than exactly what you expect from that style, right? With the Weizen, we got just like the banana.
Yeah.
Right? At this, you're just getting the caramel.
Because you're kind of more confined with German beers, I feel.
Right, yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anything too special for me personally, but that said, I know I can definitely taste and see the quality.
I think I have a slightly higher opinion of this style of beer, or this particular beer maybe even than you do. Like, again, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of German beers, but this amber lager nails it for me. We thank you for the last 5 odd minutes of your life. If you're interested, you can check out our Twitter, where we continue to post interesting new beers that we're drinking around Japan.
Take up a little bit more of your life. You can also check out our last video where we drank the Fujizakura Kogen. Is it Fujizakura Kogen?
Yes, Kogen.
Wow, that's a long name. The Fujizakura Kogen Rausch.
All right, cool. Yeah, Otaru Beer. Check them out.
Prost.